Now, I've said this once and I'll say it again, it all started with Ricky back in 2020 over at the Golden Globes when he called out celebrities for what they're really all about and who they really are at the end of the day. Very much self-absorbed individuals and really know-it-alls and narcissistic when it comes to their overall views on politics, when it comes to their views on activism, getting shoehorned and thrown into entertainment, whether it's movies or television. And Ricky Gervais, by the way, was the very guy, the very comedian on stage to call them out, and a lot of those celebrities got very offended, and he continues to do so to call them out, in this case with Meghan Markle. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new, and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. So, we know that the series With Love Meghan is not only a ratings disaster, but Meghan Markle herself, she is a studio wrecker, and what I mean by that specifically is that she is the sole person that created a divide between the Netflix board of directors. You have one half, well, I should say more like 60% of the board members that are on Meghan's side, while the other remaining 40 are really just against Meghan Markle. They want nothing to do with her. They want her to actually move and part ways from Netflix. It's a complete mess over at that studio. But what's interesting about all of this has a lot more to do with Ricky Gervais and his overall view on the series With Love Meghan, Meghan Markle as an individual, as a personality, if you will, that is trying to make it in the film industry. It's just not working for her at all, especially in television programs like this over at Netflix. But let's get over to this, shall we? Now, what's interesting about Ricky Gervais is that he just tells it like it is, right? You know, what you see is what you get type of behavior. He just says things, he has no boundaries really, and that's what's so great of him as a comedian. Now, with the Meghan Markle backlash only getting more intense as time passes by, one massive development going on now involves more to do with the ratings disaster that is With Love Meghan, as Ricky Gervais, yet again, commented on the universally rejected series. Ricky delivered the following. All these celebrities and Hollywood producers still don't get it, do they? We don't care about your politics and or your creatively bankrupt ideas. You see, Hollywood, it seems, is so creative bankrupt that they had to resort to a series about Meghan Markle opening a bag of pretzels and putting those same pretzels into a Ziploc bag. No, I'm serious. Is this the type of content customers are looking for on streaming? I don't think so. It's just pure rubbish and insulting to their customer base. I mean, I just don't know what Netflix was thinking. Did they really think that people of all demographics, whether you are a male or female, who on earth would want to watch Meghan Markle cook or walking around a house that she rented? And yeah, about that, it's not even her own house. It's that, of course, inauthentic enough for you to understand. I don't know what else is. Is this the type of entertainment that we are looking at for now in 2025? I sure hope not. Look, just because she's connected to royalty does not and shouldn't give you a pass to just shoehorn the worst programming on Netflix that is just as bad as nails on a chalkboard. I mean, have you seen the acting in this thing? Have you? They should demonstrate this show to acting classes and to remind them that this is what you don't want to do when you are acting. I don't know. Hollywood, you just don't get it, do you? You just don't get the memo from the people. Have you seen the reviews of this thing? They are awful. Now guys, let me just stop here about what Ricky Gervais is throwing out there. I kind of like how he points out how this is basically something that should be demonstrated in acting classes of something that you should never do, and he's right about that. He's absolutely correct. If you guys checked out a clip of this show, if you don't want to actually give Netflix any support for this series that is a dumpster fire, but if you have seen at least the first episode, the acting is cringeworthy. It is beyond cringe. I don't even know how to put a label on it at this point, but it really does work in conjunction with what we heard about what happened with the test screenings. The 7 test screenings that failed one after the other for With Love Meghan. And all of the test screeners, as we talked about this about a month ago, they all described episodes 1 through 8 as cringeworthy, lackluster acting skills, poor line delivery, terrible producing, and just having no actual good frame of how to actually make a series. But what's interesting about this yet again is how Ricky Gervais, once more, right, says it like it is, tells it like it is, just really has no boundaries here yet again about this show. But let's continue on. So he goes on to actually describe the show further. You see, it's shows like this with Love Meghan that shows us everything that's wrong in Hollywood right now. It's about time that Hollywood learns a lesson or two, and to think this type of response was long overdue. I think Meghan Markle needs to learn to stay in her lane as a D-list actress. Sorry, not sorry, but that's just her class. Maybe after this one, Netflix will learn a thing or two about how to develop a successful business model. And look, I've had my time with Netflix. They have that capability to adapt and evolve to provide some of the most entertaining things out there. Why they stoop down to someone connected to royalty trying to make it in this business, I don't know. But what am I to say, right? According to Markle, I am nothing more than a toxic male. So again, I mean, Ricky Gervais, he has a nice sense of humor there. He's obviously, throwing that out there about what Meghan Markle has been saying over the past week or two about how toxic men are a part of the problem for convincing some women out there to become toxic women. It's just pure insanity. It is ludicrous. And Meghan Markle is no better than those out there like Sunny Hostin of The View, Rachel Zegler of Snow White, and among others that are just so insufferable. She is just as bad as Alec Baldwin or George Clooney. They're all the same, right? They all parrot each other, and it's all the same nonsense that people are just exhausted of hearing about. But again, like I've said before, I think that Ricky Gervais is really onto something here, that Netflix can learn a thing or two from this if they really wanted to. We know that CEO Greg Peters at least has somewhat of a good head on his shoulders. He knows what's really going on. He tried to warn the board of directors about this show right from the get-go, and it just wasn't working, right? They were really that naive. They were really that out of touch with reality. They just did not want to accept the overall results. But again, he goes on to conclude, I see they are going with a second season. What, are they out of their mind? I honestly don't even know what to say anymore about how some studios believe this is what the people want. And forget about the Americans. They are going to look at this as if it's hot dog water. It's tasteless and soulless garbage. But that's about all I have to really say right now, I guess, as a toxic male who doesn't get things done his way. I can only hope Netflix learned a lesson. I can only hope. So again, there you have it. Again, we have more and more personalities, comedians, celebrities, others coming forward about this show. Mel Gibson talked about it, and among others like Bill Maher. I think at the point in 2025 that we are in right now, alright, as we get toward the tail end of the first quarter, you're going to see more of this nonsense getting thrown out there when it comes to the crumbling of Hollywood, especially on March 21st with the debut of Disney's Snow White. I mean, that's going to be a whole other subject that we will be covering time and time again. It's going to be quite an interesting thing to go over there, but I think at this point, with Love Meghan as a series on Netflix, and how they are calling the next season a season 2, that's just nothing more than a spin on things. It is basically season 1.5. I've said this many times, but I have to say it again to really inform everybody out there that may have missed it. They are using extra footage from season 1 and a combination of upcoming newly shot footage for this June to combine that into a second season. But overall, I would like to hear what you all have to say about this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.